products, our vegetables, our honey, and our hot food, prepared foods. We have it all.
It's an experience like no other. The market allows consumers to not only interact with the vendors on a more intimate level, but they also can get consumers more bang for their buck, not only through this direct sale process, but also through great programs like the Market's SNAP and Senior Market Coupon initiatives.
Let's say I want $20 worth of produce and honey, and I know that, so I'm going to ask for $20 worth of tokens. So we're going to swipe your SNAP card and give you $20 worth of tokens from your SNAP card, from the government. And then we're going to have a different kind of token that we're going to give you from United Way, $20 worth. And then with Grow the Good, we have another type of token, and that's another $20. So basically what I'm saying is up to $20. Now you can spend $50, but we will only match 20 and 20. So for your $20 worth of food that you buy at the market, you can get $60 worth of produce, honey, cooked foods, but they cannot be ready to eat.
From maximizing value to building personal bonds, the German Coast Farmers Market is succeeding on many levels, and folks are certainly happy to have it here.
And myself, I'm a people person. I love people. Since I've been in the market for almost 20 years, I've met a lot of people, and they keep coming back for my honey, I promise you.
I think it's great that local vendors have a place to come out and bring their food items or fresh produce, and the community has the opportunity to come and purchase, from local vendors.
There's a nice variety of things. I saw some like fresh garden vegetables and fruit and things. There's a lady out here that has bees and fresh honey and peanut butter and all type of good things. There's some good food, and it's really nice. There's a nice variety of things.
The market is open at the West Bank Bridge Park from noon to 5 p.m. on Wednesdays, and again from 8 a.m. to noon on Saturdays at the St. Charles Parish Library branch in Destrehan. Both sites provide great amenities and ample public parking.
Today we're standing at 301 Bethune Street. That is Bethune Park here in Norco. We're celebrating the groundbreaking of our Phase 1 improvements to Bethune Park. This is the first improvements in this site in 25 years since it was first created as a park. We're excited to see some new amenities and an improved park for the residents of Norco.
We'll be reducing the size of our large field to about 200 feet. And then our small field in the back is going to be about 200, of mostly softball field, dirt end field, all new fencing, along with two new backstops for 7, 8, and T-ball on the multi-use field toward the track. And then you look at us replacing the lights that were damaged by Ida. We have a basketball court, new league basketball court that's coming, and then a pavilion and a historical marker signifying the spot that this was once Bethune High School in St. Charles Parish.
What a wonderful way for us to honor the history and the legacy that came before, to build on these grounds, and to actually have historical kind of monuments and information about what used to be here before, which was the first African-American high school in St. Charles Parish.
This is a $1.1 million improvement to the site. When you add in the work that we did in-house through Public Works and some of the other things, you're even higher than that. And what's beneficial about this project is that our community partner, Shell Norco, came in with a generous $500,000 grant towards this project. And we really appreciate all the work that they've done in the community and that they continue to do in the community. And that's going to help us add some extra amenities that were not a part of this original phase. And we're excited to see those amenities come to life. We think the residents are going to enjoy them.
Look, it's one of the coolest parts of my job and my leadership team's job is being able to contribute to the communities that we operate in. These are communities that they're on our fence line every day. They're with us in good times and bad. And actually, this is the part of my job that I enjoy the most, just the opportunity to give back. and to really see some good for the community from what we do.
It's awesome. It makes me, I guess, proud of the company we work for, seeing that Pectin, but it makes me more excited. My little girls love the park. They love the one we have already, so a new park is super exciting for us, and I'm sure we'll spend a lot of time here. It makes me proud to be a Shell employee, but also, you know, living in Norco makes me feel good that they got our backs, and no matter what, I know they're there.
When you look at a place where you can have kind of a one-stop shop for parks and recreation, it's a great place to be, and it's going to be a really nice park for the residents. I'm super excited for the litter abatement program to finally come to fruition. Last year, we put in our 2023 budget a line item for equipment and personnel to make this program possible. I can't thank the Parish Council enough for supporting that program. And now we are going to have full-time litter abatement going on throughout the parish. So we've worked with Public Works and identified corridors in the parish where we know we see more litter. And we've put together 2 teams, one on the East Bank, one on the West Bank. And they're going to be responsible for going on that route and catching those areas of litter. I really believe that this is going to make our parish overall look much better. We're also going to be able to, at times, move and attack areas that build up litter outside of that route. Litter is a nuisance on multiple fronts in St. Charles Parish. It's a quality of life issue. People shouldn't have to drive through our beautiful scenic roadways and have to see litter. And even further than that, it actually gets into our drainage ditches. It gets into our catch basins. It ends up at our pump stations and affects drainage. So this really is a true quality of life issue, and it's an issue.
Parish Council meeting on Monday, August 4th, 2025 at 6 p.m. in the Council Chambers in the Parish Courthouse. Please silence all electronic devices and remove all hats. This meeting is called to order with a prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance from Pastor D.B. Molaire with Good Hope Missionary Baptist Church in Norco.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty for all. May we pray, heads bowed. Almighty God, our Heavenly Father, we come to you in the only name that matters, and that's Jesus Christ. We're told if anything to be done with the Father, we have to go through the Son. And we appeal to him to give us his presence here tonight in this meeting. We're grateful for this parish, a good parish to live in, a safe parish. We pray for the president and the council, sheriff, DA, and all the essential workers. Matter of fact, dear God, this parish in its entirety, including the residents, you bless this parish with many and much. And we're thankful, dear God, that you would continue this because we deserve the best and you give the best. Bless all of our efforts. It's in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. God bless you.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor Molaire.
You're welcome.
Approval of the minutes. A motion and a second are needed to approve the minutes from the regular meeting of July 21st, 2025. We have a motion from Councilwoman Skiba, a second from Councilman Fisher. Please cast your votes. And that passes unanimously. Councilman Commerdale and Councilwoman DeBrouillet will not be in attendance tonight. Special business, proclamations, canvass returns, etc. File number 2025-0207 in recognition, Merrick Ricky Roussel. Parish President Jewell.
Thank you, Chairwoman. St. Charles Parish, in recognition, August 4th, 2025. Whereas Merrick Ricky Roussel, Jr., a resident of St. Charles Parish, resides in Parish, Louisiana with his wife Amy, and whereas Ricky began working for St. Charles Parish in 1995 as a temporary laborer in the Public Works Department, Worked in the Parks and Recreation Department from 1995 through 1997 as a recreation maintenance and grass cutter. In 1997, he transferred to the Waterworks Department and returned to the Public Works Department in 2006, where he has remained until being appointed as Public Works Assistant Superintendent on February 2nd, 2018, a position that he has held until his retirement. Whereas on July 20th, 2025, Ricky has retired after 30 years of dedicated public service to the residents of St. Charles Parish. His knowledge, dedication, and work ethic will be missed. Now, therefore, be it resolved that we, the members of the St. Charles Parish Council, and the parish president, do hereby offer a tribute and recognition to Merrick Ricky Roussel Jr., 5/22/1995 to 7/20/2025.
I just want to say it was an honor, and I really enjoyed what I did for 30. Actually, I did 30 years. I retired with 31 because I had a bunch of sick time. But I enjoyed every minute of what I did, giving back to the parish. I seen a lot and did a lot, and been through a lot of people and a lot of administrations, and it was a good job. I really enjoyed it, and I'm gonna miss it.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations. Thank you. Chairwoman, I just want to say just a special thanks on my own to Ricky. Ricky has cut a lot of grass in this parish, and worked with a great crew of employees. And I can tell you, grass cutting is one of those really challenging jobs in the parish, especially during times like this when it's raining and sun shining and nice and hot.
Yeah, they want us there every other week, and
Yep.
but when it's raining, it's hard. It really is. So that's another thing. I got great guys and women out there that's doing a great job. Just sometimes Mother Nature does not allow us and help us at all.
Yeah. And I just want to mention too that Ricky was one of the few people that we allowed on the Hale Boggs Bridge to remove snow after the historic snowstorm.
It was interesting and very learning.
Yeah, he was dumping snow in the river. He might have missed the river one time and went on the road, which he has not lived down yet. But we just want to say thank you because you've been there through it all, whether it's just your normal day-to-day operations, the hurricanes, the snowstorms, the droughts, everything. So, Ricky, we just want to say thank you, and we hope you enjoy your retirement.
Thank you very much.
File number 2025-0208, proclamation, Hornville High School Alumni Day in St. Charles Parish. Parish President Jewell.
Thank you, Chairwoman. Proclamation, whereas Hornville High School alumni represent decades of excellence, leadership, and achievement across various fields and continue to serve as a source of pride and inspiration for the community of St. Charles Parish. And whereas the alumni of Hornville High School form a powerful network of individuals committed to unity, mentorship, and celebrating a shared legacy that transcends generations. And whereas Saturday, August 30th, 2025, marks the inaugural annual Hornville High School Alumni Picnic, an event created to bring together past graduates in a spirit of fellowship, pride, and community building. And whereas this historic gathering is made possible through the extraordinary leadership and determination of Amani Groh, Lloyd Richard, and Jasmine Simmons, representing the HHS Alumni Experience Group, whose unwavering commitment has accomplished what many before have tried, the successful organization of a unifying alumni celebration. And whereas the establishment of Alumni Day is a tribute not only to this year's celebration, but to the enduring spirit of Hornville High School alumni and their continued contributions to the social, educational, and civic vitality of St. Charles Parish. Now, therefore, be it resolved that we, the members of the St. Charles Parish Council and the Parish President, do hereby proclaim Saturday, August 30th, 2025, as Hahnville High School Alumni Day in St. Charles Parish, and encourage all citizens to recognize and celebrate the accomplishments and legacy of Hahnville alumni, and to honor the exceptional leadership of Amani Groh, Lloyd Richard, and Jasmine Simmons of the HHS Alumni Experience Group in making this celebration a reality. I believe we have those folks here with us today. You want to come on up? As they're coming up, I just want to mention that there is no Destrehan Alumni Day in St. Charles Parish. It's unfortunate. Yeah, I'm sure you'll have one next week.
So I speak on behalf of Jasmine Simmons. I'm her mother. She wasn't able to be here tonight, but she wanted you all to know how very grateful she is to have been recognized. It is very exciting, and she's truly grateful. I also, Amani and Lloyd are so bashful. I guess they're leaving it for me. But I speak for them also in saying how grateful they are to have been recognized by you all. Thank you.
Thank you. File number 2025-0231, confirmation hearing for appointment of director, Department of Economic Development and Tourism, Mr. Patrick Beard. Parish President Jewell.
Thank you, Chairwoman. We have nominated to the St. Charles Parish Council for their approval Mr. Patrick Beard. Patrick is a St. Charles Parish resident and economic development professional with extensive experience in industrial real estate, business attraction, and public-private partnerships. He most recently served as an associate vice president at Colliers International, where he worked on major industrial projects throughout South Louisiana, including deals involving port authorities, manufacturers, and logistics firms. Prior to that, he served as a maritime industrial asset manager for the Port of New Orleans, overseeing more than 1,000 acres of leased property, working closely with regional economic development organizations. Patrick also teaches part-time, as kind of moonlights, I guess you could say, at Tulane University and the University of New Orleans, where he teaches finance. He also holds a bachelor's degree and an MBA from UNO. He's a resident of Destrehan with his wife and 3 young children, and is proud to call this parish home. And we would welcome Patrick up to answer any of your questions, and we would ask for your approval of his nomination. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to go to public hearing. File number 2025-0231 is now open for public comment. If there's anyone who would like to come up and speak on behalf of this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak.
Well, I am Patrick Beard, and I'm not sure if I have much public comment other than I'd appreciate confirmation and hope to work with you guys.
Okay. Thank you, Patrick.
All right.
Public hearing is open now. If there's anyone who would like to come up and speak on behalf of this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Okay, seeing none, public comment is closed. Any council discussion? Councilwoman O'Daniels.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Patrick?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, first off, I want to welcome you. And I had a couple questions because my district is a district that has a lot of small business. And I noticed on your questionnaire, you've been involved in a lot of big deals. And I only speak for myself because generally speaking, my career involved mostly big deals. And after a while, millions start sounding like funny money. And I wanted to ask you, what were your thoughts on promoting small business within the Louisiana Economic Development Department?
So that's a great question, and it's one that came up in the interview, and it's come up a lot in the last few weeks as I've been thinking about this role. And looking at economic development, you could look at it from the perspective of more jobs, more taxes, right, more growth, and that's where the big business comes in. But you can also look at it from the perspective of supporting small business and entrepreneurs and in innovation within our parish, so that it increases quality of life, and so that we get those opportunities that 1 in 10 businesses could grow to a point where it's exporting something outside of this parish, right? And even if not, even just supporting and helping those small businesses get through the permitting process. Understand, before you go to your ribbon cutting, get the occupancy permit, right? And understanding kind of those smaller details of things. So a lot of what the plan is, it's to build up some efficiencies so that the information's getting out there better. So we're working with our public information office and others, at least that's my plan to help communicate better to the small businesses ahead of time what's expected, how to work with government, how to go through the procurement process, right? How to get, more of our St. Charles Parish dollars to stay in St. Charles Parish. And that's, I think, where the small businesses have a unique opportunity that the big businesses don't have, right?
All right. I have a small business, and my husband has a small business here in St. Charles Parish,
Yes.
and I don't recall much interaction with this department. So I guess I would like to flip the script and just express on behalf of my residents that small business to them is not necessarily about exports
Right.
or multi-million dollars. It's about survival.
Right.
So I'm hoping that maybe there could be like a little small business portion of your department to reach out to those particular businesses, because I think big business knows how to do business.
Yeah,
Okay.
understood.
Having worked with a lot of big business, they do, and the government is pretty adept at understanding what's a good private public partnership.
Right.
But I think, and that's been done very well through this parish, but I think that there is a need and a growth for those small businesses, and like you say, innovation with our younger people to get them to thrive and support their families as well.
Yep.
And I appreciate you integrating a little bit more into the department on that.
Yeah, I
Thank you.
appreciate that
Thank you.
sentiment very much. I agree with it.
All right, thank you, Councilwoman Daniels. Parish President Jewell.
Thank you, Chairwoman, and I appreciate the Councilwoman's question as well. What I'll say is that I have tasked Patrick, when he is confirmed, to rebuild and reimagine our economic development department. Obviously, we are very industrialized. There are only a couple of spots left in St. Charles Parish where you could do any new industrial activity outside of existing industrial fence lines. And what I've asked him to do is to do exactly kind of what he mentioned, is that how do we communicate with entrepreneurs who are looking to do business in St. Charles Parish, maybe breaking the stigma that it's hard to do business in St. Charles Parish because maybe we don't put enough information out that allows businesses or people who are starting businesses to go through that process. So he's going to be working on that. Last year, we started reaching out more to our small businesses, trying to find the ones who want to be contacted, what information that they're looking for, and all that information was collected, and we're turning that over to Patrick, and he's going to be using that to rebuild his office moving forward, and focusing on making sure that we are hitting all of those touch points for both big and small and even medium-sized businesses. Thanks.
All right, thank you. All right, please cast your votes on the confirmation of Mr. Patrick Beard, Director of Economic Development and Tourism. And that passes unanimously. Congratulations, Patrick. Welcome.
Thank you.
Reports, finance and administrative activities. File number 2025-0209. The Arc of St. Charles is here to present. Miss Victoria Bryant and crew.
All right. Good evening. Special thank you to our parish president and to you, the council, for giving us this opportunity to share with you all what we've been doing and to the parish. And so as you will see, I have a lot of new faces in regards to staffing. You all knew Maggie was here last year, so Maggie has moved on. And so this is Miss Candace Meyer, and she's my vocational supervisor. I have Miss Lauren, who is my executive office coordinator. And then I have Miss Kiera, QAQI, handling a bunch of things. So these ladies are very sharp and they make me look good. And so I'm excited about that. And of course, we have our guys who will be presenting tonight. And then Michelle told me I had to use this little thing. So let's see how it works. Am I pressing this middle one? All right. Okay, good. So we're excited to be here again. We have to do our semi-annual report. Just telling you all some of the things we've been doing throughout the year. I don't want to do a lot of the talking as I've stopped being the person doing the talking. I want my guys to speak for themselves. And so I'll have Candace to come and speak on our rehabilitation participation.
Pretty much.
You have to come here.
Pretty much within the last 6 months, our day hat program has grown by 10%, and we're expecting it to grow by another 10% by the end of the year, according to what our intake has told us. And when our guys are in day hat, there's two different sectors. There's on-ground programs, and then there's in the community programs, which is called community life engagement. And this is just a few pictures of what they do when they're on grounds. We do person-centered planning with each one of our individuals that are in the program, and a staff sits down with them and gives them a list and a description of all of the available activities, and they make their own schedule based on their interests, and we group them together based on those interests. And as far as the community life engagement portion, we're getting them out in the community, and they're engaging the community at the same rate as people that don't have disabilities. So, we've done things that aren't pictured here, like going to water parks, museums. They volunteer at different sites and things of that nature. But the one thing we're really excited about is getting our guys enrolled in school. We have some that are in the GED program that are taking the prep courses to work towards their GED. And then we also have some that are in college courses. And we can get Daniel to let you tell you about his experience with school.
I'm Daniel Moorhead, and I go to RPCC for their high school diploma program. And last year, I was an recipient for that for the honor society with RPCC. And also this year, I also was a recipient for South Advocate of the Year for Dark of Louisiana Award Show in Baton Rouge. And it's been a lot this year.
So, I think that's you, Candace.
Oh.
Yeah.
And also, we have our section we call it Innovative Career Experiences, and that's where some of our guys job shadow at various businesses in the community. And these are a few that we've worked with, and we're actually starting at Marshall's next week, where our guys are going to go in there and job shadow, and we're working on Hornville High. Destrehan has already done one.
Okay, just spit it out.
It's already
done. Okay, people first, and so we'll have Malcolm Moore come forward.
Good evening, and thank you for having us tonight. My name is Malcolm Moore. I'm our current president for the 2025-2027 People's First Presidency for our St. Charles Parish branch. Our goal in People First is to make sure that everyone knows that even though we have our disabilities, we're still people first, and we'd like to make sure our voices are heard and that our needs are met in the community. Thank you.
Did you want to say the mission statement?
Oh, sure. I can pull that up.
So they can know what that's about.
I will be pulling up the mission statement for People's First of Louisiana, but as a chapter, it also affects us. So People First of Louisiana supports people with disabilities in empowering themselves to become effective decision makers, gain more independence, and enjoy life as equal citizens of the US of A. And I highly believe that through this, we may flourish in the community just as everyone else does. Thank you.
And so we're excited about People First. Our guys been independent for a long time. We've been allowing them to speak. You know, they've come here many times before. And because they knew these guys were doing this, they allowed us to actually represent them with the state conferences. And so our guys will be traveling the state as well as out of the country. I mean, you know, nationwide to go and do presentations. We're not going out of the country yet, but nationwide to do presentations. And so we're so excited about this. And so they are so nervous. But Jenna, you think you could come forward? Come on, Jenna. You can.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Jenna. Wellness has helped us become aware of our well-being as an individual. It has also allowed us to express to our peers the importance of both physical and mental health. From personal experience, the wellness group has helped me overcome my barrier of public speaking.
Wonderful. So you can see that's the board that they have. There's the advisor, which is O'Neill. Daniel is the treasurer and sergeant at arms. Jenna's the secretary. Billy, who is here, is the former vice president. And of course, Malcolm is the president. And Billy, do you have something to say? You could come forward.
Yeah, sure. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Billy King. I'm the former vice president. Now I'm an advisor for the Arc of St. Charles. I do swamp shredding, and here's what I want to say for wellness. What wellness helps me is wellness has helped us learn how important healthy relationships with family and friends are. Like, for example, I have a really good relationship with my family and a good relationship with friends here at the Arc. I've been knowing them for 9 years. We have a really good connection, and I hope that doesn't change. And God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Billy. And Kiara will come and speak on the wellness group presentations.
Hello. As you all are aware, we have been afforded several opportunities to go out to different ARCs within the state of Louisiana. One of the most recent ones was our group presentation at Baton Rouge. We had the opportunity for the individuals, our guys, to present to the group the importance of wellness and also building a wellness guide for themselves. Not only are we doing this as well, but we have OCDD, which is Office of Citizens with Developmental Disabilities. We have a psychiatrist that partnerships with us to discuss mental health and well-being. And we also have a support from the Arc of Louisiana as well, a program representative. That's our Arc of Baton Rouge. We also was afforded the opportunity to present in Baton Rouge on last week at the GOTA conference. Our Governor's Office of Disability Affairs. That was a great opportunity because we had the opportunity to present to students, staff, as well as other individuals the importance of building a wellness plan and how they can intertwine that into their studies. So we were able to possibly connect with a student from LSU as well as a teacher assistant to discuss more in depth about developmental disabilities as they develop, get older. And also our upcoming conferences and presentations. We have Talk at the Terrebonne Arc. That will be next week. Next Tuesday, we will be presenting wellness. We also have our annual conference in Alexandria, Louisiana with the American Association on Intellectual Disability and Developmental Disabilities. And last but not least, we will be presenting in Minnesota at the National Association for Duly Diagnosed annual conference. So we're looking forward to that. And thank you all again for having us.
Thank you.
And so this was a opportunity for them to keep trying. They get a little nervous at home, and they did so well in Baton Rouge. But thank you all for giving us the time. These guys are members of the St. Charles Parish Women's Club. They participated and volunteered with our Christmas dinner. We had a leadership training this year, and I wanted to say one more thing, if we can, about some of the projects that you did. Can you just share that?
Sure thing.
Because I know everybody's listening.
Absolutely. As People First, we have partnered with the Women's Club ourselves to do a food drive of various items to assist those in need. We've also are working on partnering with the Lions Club in order to get some stuff out there. What else have we
Children's
done?
Hospital.
Children's Hospital. We made a donation to them to help assist those children in their time of recovery. And Toys for Tots. We did multiple drives for them, including one during our fall festival, which we do annually.
Alligator Festival.
We also volunteer at Alligator Festival at a Coke booth. You probably saw us last year. We'll be there again this year. And that's it. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Any questions for us?
I don't see any. Thank you. Oh, sorry. We just had one pop up. Councilwoman Wilson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ms. Victoria and her crew, I just want to say thank you to everything what you provide within the ARC, and to the crew. Thank you all for what you all do within the community. And Daniel, when you get ready to graduate, make sure you let me know.
Yes.
Because I definitely want to be there.
To celebrate with her.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh. Malcolm is also in college.
I'm also going to RPCC as well.
And Jenna will be graduating in December and will become a vocational assistant at the Arc of St. Charles.
Excellent.
Well, the graduation.
Got another year or two for me.
Yes. Thank you all.
All right, thank you. Okay, file number 2025-0210, Department of Waterworks. We have Mr. Greg Gordon here to report.
Good evening. Madam Chair, members of the council, Parish President Jewell, Miles. Good evening. It's the annual report that the department does. I tried to hit on a few little different items this year. So as we go through this, there's some, typically last year, I kind of did a repeat of some other ones since we had some new members of the council. So this year I'm trying to focus on a couple of little different items. So some of the information that was in the last year's report, I kind of did not include this year, but I tried to do some of the more vital statistics and such. So if you have any other questions regarding anything you saw in last year's report, any terms of vital statistics, I'd be more than happy to answer them at a later date. So again, our mission is we provide a sufficient supply of safe drinking water and water for fire protection to citizens of St. Charles Parish. We currently have 57 staff members, 11 in the administrative office and billing operations, 23 in distribution, and 23 in the treatment plant. Our total budget for fiscal year 2025 is $16.2 million. We have total assets of $54 million. In terms of billing, I think the one thing that I kind of wanted to focus on here is that our customer payment methods, we are utilizing, we're getting a lot more in terms of online paying, which is we're up to about 50%, and 21% in bank drafting, which is very important. It really cuts down on the middle number of people coming into the office. Also, one of the ones is that we mentioned our meter project that we've been doing for the last few years. So as of this year now, in this report, for our total meters of 23,328 meters, 211 are left to be manually read. So those are usually our large meters at a large of industrial sites, commercial sites. So we have 23,117 automatic read meters. So basically 99% of our meters are automatically read. So basically the culmination of that 3 to 4 year project, we've reached that endpoint. So I just wanted to kind of point that out. In terms of production, treatment, and distribution stats for 2024, this is, again, I'm just trying to always go over this every year. So our waterworks treatment plant operators, we collect 270 chlorine samples per month throughout the water system, 120 chlorine samples per day at each treatment plant. One operator per 12-hour shift performs an average of 319 water analyses and 465,740 water analyses per year by each operator. So we are constantly going and doing analysis and all kinds of sampling throughout the day, throughout every shift. So the billing call center. This year we've initiated a billing call center. I know the parish president kind of went over this a little in one of his reports, but I just kind of wanted to hit on it a little more in detail. Why did we do this? First of all, we wanted to get accurately track customer call data. One of the reasons we really wanted to do this also was we wanted to terminate the use of the existing Infinity line. People would call in during heavy times. It would kind of ring off the hook. We'd get call log jams. So at the same time now we're able to reduce customer frustration of multiple calls. We can provide customers the opportunity to request a callback, and we encourage email communication to provide information, resolve issues, and establish new services. The data we track is inbound, outbound calls, the number of calls that we handle, calls abandoned by customers, that is the number that they hang up if they get frustrated or they don't want to wait, the total handling time by staff person for inbound and outbound calls, the average handling time for inbound, outbound calls, and the speed of the answer. The calls outbound / abandoned by a customer and or those that are re-queued, that is meaning they're calling back or they're waiting and it's getting re-queued and getting answered, and the percentage of shift handling inbound, outbound calls by employee. So the reason why we are kind of doing this is we want the ability to track staff workload through the billing processes. It assists with performance coaching. We can speak to them about the time spent on each customer call, determine which issues they are having that are time consuming, and how to hone their performance. So we've only been collecting this data for a few months. We're having our first roundtable coming up where we kind of do a training in the office. We close a little early. That'll be this Friday. And we kind of going to go over all of our stats with the employees to kind of get with their feedback and to talk to them about specific issues that we have found in our data. It also helps us to determine the work balance amongst the billing staff. Are there certain staff fielding less calls? If so, why? Is it about an understanding of the process, the way that information is extracted from the customer? If it's a specific issue that all staff have to handle on a consistent basis, are some of them handling it one way and some of it handling it another way? Is there any way that they can cooperate and coordinate, and we can discuss that? So it's a good way for us to kind of do that, because it really, in the past, we didn't really have any of this information. And a lot of it especially with staff turnover, we like to kind of give them data and give them some kind of understanding of what's going on. So we've only had this going for a few months, but you can see the number of calls that we've been getting over the last few months, and the amount that we were able to actually answer, and our percentage. Again, this shows that the staff is really trying to get almost every call. Our July stats, we're up to 2,452 calls for July. We only missed 14. So we had about a 99% average to grab those calls again. I think that this shows that the staff is being very diligent in dealing with this, and the call center, and the lack of an infinity line where it just kind of rung and rung, where people got upset, where it got rerouted throughout the parish government, doesn't exist anymore. It allows us to really get to the calls a little more in a more consistent basis. Not great to look at this right here for everyone in the audience. I apologize, but in terms of the presentation that was been provided to you all, is this gives you an idea of what the call center dashboard looks like. So this is on a screen in 3 different offices. In the billing office, in the middle, as we call it, where the billing staff handles all the calls, and this is not the staff at the front window. They have this screen. Also, Miss Vidros, who oversees that, and Miss Jessica, who oversees all the billing operations. They all have this screen in their office, so we can kind of see what's going on at any given moment, and if there's any kind of issues going on. But it just keeps everyone aware as to what's happening at that moment. In the past, we really haven't had that. So I think it's a good thing for us to move forward with that. So as part of the billing process, we brought up about a year and a half ago or so, we started to use a new billing software, MuniLink. The integration with that, now with the call center, it allows us to kind of do a number of things. But with MuniLink, we're now able to do customer notifications. So we can put out emergency notifications. We can give out information about service interruptions, advisories, how to sign up for online billing. We can also link to our meter technicians, so the billing staff can send service orders to the meter technicians in the field directly. Used to be all paper. We can work with the technicians to resolve issues in real time, and we can reduce repeat visits, avoid confusion, reduce customer frustration, because paper would get lost. We'd have to translate things. Things would move from the East Bank office to the West Bank office. All of that has been pretty much terminated. So to kind of give you an idea what MuniLink kind of looks like for the staff, and to kind of let everyone know, I talked to the staff before this presentation, said, what are some things that you would like the council and the people at home kind of know what you're seeing and how the MuniLink system has made some impacts onto what you do for our customers. So one is you can searching account efficiencies. For example, so we have more in-depth search filters available. Before, it was very, you had to float between screens and sections. You couldn't see everything in one fell swoop. That caused a lot of confusion. It also really made the time for new staff to get accustomed to the system a lot longer. Now it's much more user-friendly. The customer data is on one page. Did not always used to be that way. So now we can see a log of all the billing transactions, a log of all the account interactions, activity, services, and history of usage. Used to be on different pages, used to have to float around, had to spend a lot of time with customers on the phone, searching information unless you knew how to navigate the system. Didn't always work well, caused some customer frustration. We are moving past that. The module, all the modules are on one page, which is really a big deal for us. Also, that it's interesting is that if you look at it, certain modules are unavailable without completion of prior necessary steps. It really helps us to make sure that everything is done accurately. Service order creation. So the billing clerks are able to actually do a service order within the MuniLink system. It goes out to the meter techs out in the field, to distribution out in the field. They can handle it at that moment versus it used to have to be written on a piece of paper on the work order form, put in a file. The people came and got it. They went out in the field, brought the paper back. The paper had to be the person had to take the information, put it into the system, so that always was there for historical data and call the customer. Very work intensive. Try to do this a little look on no paper is all that access to the database that serves all the service orders are in one spot. Also did not used to be that way. This really allows the billing technicians and the billing clerks to discuss with a customer any kind of things that have happened with their account in the past, visits out to their site, and so on and so forth. So as an example of how the Meeting Link and the call center kind of work together, for example, so on one day on June 30th of this year, we had a water main damage impacted parts of Willowdale and Ama. So between 8:30 and 11 a.m., we were able to track that we got 171 calls on this issue. We sent a direct message to cycles 1 and 4, the customers in Willowdale and Ama, alerting them to the low pressure, and the distribution crew was en route to fix it. So you can see over time, the amount of calls were reduced over that time period because of our direct messaging to the customers. This is kind of a big issue because in the past, when we had an issue out in the field, you still had people calling in about their bills, wanting to do other customer service related things. They all kind of clashed and combined, and it made for a miasma of calls and everyone trying to get through at one time. This is big help for us to cut all that down because people are getting a direct message on their phones from us. Then we sent a second message about the repair and the resumption of pressure. So really the result is we were able to track the calls for a specific event, which we like to be able to do. Direct messaging customers reduced those calls and kept the customers notified throughout the event as to what was going on. Just a little quick update on some of the capital projects. The East Bank Mississippi River Intake Project, so that is at the project closeout stage. We're about to present like a change order to the council in upcoming meetings about that to close that project out. The East Bank Warehouse, that project is complete. That was also part of a IDA repair. East Bank Treatment Plant repairs, the project is complete. The LA 18 River Road construction, a road cast iron water line replacement. Many of you might have driven by this tonight to come here. It is underway. And the spillway water line replacement is starting on August 25th. I do want to also, at the end of this, before I ask for any questions, I want to kind of thank Sierra Fricky and Jessica Nakan and Kendra Vadros in the office, because I really wanted to talk to them about what is something that you want us to focus on in terms of billing in the call center that the council may want to know about. So I try to utilize their expertise on what to present. And thank you. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Gordon. Councilman Pillier.
Thank you, Mr. Gordon. It looks like you got your stuff together. You have 23,000, say 99% automatic read meters or read meters. Is that internet based, or is that ride by and pick up a wireless?
So what they do is they go to a repeater, and that repeater goes to a base station. So it goes from the meter to a repeater, which we've put all throughout the parish, and then to a base station. For example, there's main base station is across the street at the EOC on its tower. And we've also been spending some time looking at some gaps where we have some gaps about, are the meters, if they're sending a signal, are they having an issue? Do we need to put more repeaters up? So we are constantly looking at as in terms of maintenance. Interestingly enough, one of the things that we have found is that we had repeaters near a base station. Now that we have found that most of the meters want to talk to the base station that are closer to the base station. So we're able to take down that repeater and put it farther out in the field to make the system operate a little more accurately.
With that said, you're more reliant on electronic billing. I know we've had some presentations with the IT people that talk about we have, cloud backup and things of that nature. If we had a hurricane along, like Ida, we had, 18 days of lost power or whatever, will your system be backed up elsewhere such that we don't lose?
So it's backed up on the Meeting Link system with the company Meeting Link. That's the billing software. So our transactions are backed up to that system. And we have specific administrators, so they can work with that system, like during an emergency, if we don't have any kind of service, so to speak, at our offices, or we're shut down, they can take their laptops home and keep working the billing process to keep that moving. So
and the servicing.
Yes, and so we're not going to lose any data, no, sir.
Got you covered. Thank you very much.
Parish President Jewell.
Yeah, Mr. Pillier, just to your point, if you recall, after Hurricane Ida, we had debris and everything else on top of water meters throughout the parish, so we physically could not go out and read them. This should be able to prevent that from happening in the future. And it's
I wouldn't call it Wi-Fi, but the meters send their own little signal, and that goes to that repeater and then to the base station. And it's, I think, sent
Yeah,
every
it goes up to the cloud. It's
up
uploaded
to the cloud. But if I'm not mistaken, we're not sending it like one time a month. It's sending it every day
Yes,
to the
it's
base station.
repeatedly,
So if something were to happen, the most you would be out is 1 day's worth of information.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Parish President Jewell and Mr. Gordon. Appreciate it. File number 2025-0211, Parish President Remarks and Report. Parish President Jewell.
Thank you, Chairwoman. We will start with CC Road. CC Road is going to be closed starting today. Both the north and southbound lanes of CC Road in Muntz will be fully closed between US 61, which is Airline Highway, and River Road until Friday, August 15th at 10 p.m. This closure is necessary to accommodate the sheet pile installation along CC Road at Muntz Pump Station number 1. We do appreciate our residents being courteous and putting up with all of the work that we're going to be doing there. We do want to mention that this is going to be a common occurring theme along CC Road during the course of this project, at least for a while. And we are going to try to keep the road open as much as possible. But for safety purposes, when we have to close it, we will close it while we are constructing those pump stations. Okay, asphalt maintenance is wrapping up. The summer project, again, is wrapping up with cleanup and striping efforts, which are underway now. Thanks to our residents for their patience as we improved 39 asphalt roads throughout the parish this summer. Okay, next, we want to mention that we hired professionally trained divers to clean branches and other large debris from the bottom of our bar screens and our canals. Obviously, it's easy to see what's on top, but those bar screens do go all the way to the bottom of those canals, and sometimes logs and other items can get jammed down at the bottom, which can cause a restriction. And so we hired these divers to be able to go down there and clean out the bottoms of those bar screen cleaners. Want to mention, too, that we're asking residents who live near canals to help us prevent this or help us prevent the future incidences at our pump stations by making sure to not throw any large items or small items, for that matter, into drainage canals or near pump stations. And more importantly, if they see an issue, to please call us at the St. Charles Parish EOC 985-783-5050. If they see a leaning tree or a tree that has fallen into a canal, or if they see debris that someone has thrown into a canal, we do want to make sure that we get that as soon as possible. We've seen everything that you can imagine under the sun: tires, mattresses, barbecue pits, beach balls, everything you can possibly imagine, again, at those pump stations. Okay. We recently broke ground on the LA-18 water main replacement project. Mr. Gordon mentioned this in his report, but we're going to be upgrading 4,800 feet of old, really original cast iron pipe with a new PVC water main, improving the service along River Road from Ashton Boulevard to Annie Lane. Work is expected to wrap up in December. Again, this is phase 2 of this project, so we started up closer to the courthouse, and that worked its way down, and there's a couple more phases to this project, but we're doing one phase at a time. We want to mention that the contractor does have flaggers on site while they worked on the replacement. We appreciate everybody's patience while they go through that work zone. It seems like they've been doing a pretty good job of keeping the traffic moving. Okay, I want to mention that yesterday, CPRA in St. Charles Parish welcomed Congressman Bruce Westerman, who is from the 4th District of Arkansas. He's the chairman of House Natural Resources Committee, and we did a tour of the Davis Pond diversion. Following a visit to the control structure on the levee, we traveled by airboat to a monitoring station, which is what you can see here in the photo. And then right there, we took a core sample of an area, and you can see that we're standing on this kind of wooden platform, and we don't need to stand on it because the diversion has built up a lot of land in this area that used to really just be floating marsh. I can remember going on a tour of this area back when I worked for Congressman Scalise, and you could not step off of that that plank there, or else you would sink up to your waist in mud. But now it is sturdy ground, and it's evidenced by the fact that we do have trees that have rooted, which you can kind of see in the background there of the photo. And then on the left there, you see that core sample, and it might be hard to see on the screen, but on your papers, at the very bottom of that core sample, at the tip, you can see some organic matter. That is the old floating marsh that used to be present in that in this area. As water has passed through this floating marsh and caught the sediment off of the Davis diversion from the Mississippi River, it has built up on top, and that's all the dirt and clay you see on top of that organic matter, which again is at the bottom. It's kind of light colored there on the core sample, but now it's nice clay on top of that, and then again now you see on top different types of grasses are growing there. So really amazing to see, especially for a diversion that was designed just to take surface water, fresh water, off the top of the Mississippi River. It was not designed to divert sediment, but it has, and it's actually filled in a large area, about 500 acres. And I shared some information on my Facebook earlier this morning and yesterday. This area back in 1936, that's the oldest aerial image I could find of this area, was solid marsh grass. There was no open water in it. And by the 1950s and 70s, you could see it opening up. The marsh was degrading. By 1998, it was pretty wide open water, again, around the 500 acres or so. And now when you look at this area, you can kind of see this little mini deltaic system that is kind of reflective of the larger delta that we live on. And so we're excited about that project. I'm calling on the CPRA to do a similar project in the Upper Basin. It's called the Upper Basin Diversion. I call it the Lake des Allemands Freshwater Reintroduction Project because we don't get the tidal exchange up in the Upper Basin that we get lower in the basin in, say, places like Grand Isle or Lafitte. So you don't get that water exchange that keeps marshes healthy. And what we get during these really hot summers is really stagnant water. It becomes hypoxic, which is not good for the plants that live there. It's not good for the fish that live there. And contrary to popular belief, marshes die very, very slowly. And sometimes we don't notice that they're they're in distress until it's kind of too late. And so this is something that we see in the Upper Basin in Lake des Allemands. And we're seeing saltwater intrusion in that Upper Basin. Fishermen reporting barnacles growing on their crab traps and things like that. So it's a real cause for concern, and we're hopeful that the CPRA will start the engineering, the design, and the permitting of that freshwater diversion into Lake des Allemands to bring that nutrient-rich Mississippi water back to the basin where it belongs. Okay, next one. East Bank Bridge Park update. While rain and high water in the Mississippi have definitely slowed our construction, a lot of progress has been made in the past couple of weeks. The dugouts are bricked. The turf is complete. The basketball and tennis courts and pickleball courts have been painted, which you can see on the left-hand side of your screen there. Next steps include installing the lighting, completing the drainage work, and finalizing the parking lot. We appreciate everybody's patience. We didn't think that the Mississippi River was going to keep us sidelined for a few months, which prevented a lot of the digging on site. But we're glad to see the light at the end of the tunnel in this project. And please be looking out for an invite to a groundbreaking in the near future. A ribbon cutting. Beanbag Baseball is on August 13th. St. Charles Parish Parks and Recreation is excited for the return of our seasonal Beanbag Baseball games. The games will officially start on Wednesday, August 13th, and will be held every Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the Edward A. Dufresne Community Center. This is a big, fun event for our seniors. They love coming, and they love the competition. The St. Charles Parish Animal Shelter Check the Chip Day. The St. Charles Parish Animal Shelter is going to host Check the Chip Day event on Friday, August 15th. From 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., the event is located at 921 Deputy Jeff G. Watson Drive in Luling. It is free with proof of residence. Staff will assist you with updating your dog or cat's current microchip information or microchip your pet if they don't already have one. For questions, please call our animal shelter at 783-5010. St. Charles Parish Animal Shelter nursing home visits. Our staff from the animal shelter, along with volunteers, visited our local nursing homes. They do visit our local nursing homes every Tuesday to bring joy to our residents. So we just wanted to share that with all of you. For more information on volunteering opportunities with the animal shelter, you can call that number I just mentioned, or you can go online to www.stcharlesparish.gov/animal control. Next is the Department of Community Services school programs and tutoring. The Kelowna, Booty, and St. Rose Community Centers will be providing before and after care services Monday through Friday for the upcoming school year. For the Kelowna and Booty Community Centers, before care is available for just $4 per day, with aftercare with the aftercare fee waived at both locations. Residents must register their child at the Kelowna Community Center at 201 LA Highway 3141 in Kelowna, or at the Booty Community Center, 119 Magnolia Ridge Road in Booty. In partnership with IMTT, the St. Rose Community Center will have free before and after care for students. Parents can also register their child at 608 Mockingbird Lane in St. Rose. The Booty Community Center will also offer free after-school tutoring for grades K through 7, starting Tuesday, September 7th. Last but certainly not least, we want to give you a sales tax update. Sales taxes were slightly up in the month of June, about 1.75%. To date, we are now up about 7.05% where we were this time last year. This is representative by 1.6 million in additional revenues for this year. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Parish President Jewell. Ordinance introduced for publication, public hearing, and adoption at the public meeting on Monday, August 18th, 2025 at 6 p.m. in the council chambers in the courthouse in Hornville. File number 2025-0198. Ordinances, resolutions introduced for publication / public hearing for Monday, August 18th, 2025 at 6 p.m. in the council chambers, courthouse in Hornville. File number 2025-0232, file number 2025-0233, and 2025-0234. Ordinances scheduled for public hearing introduced at the previous meeting. File number 2025-0197, an ordinance approving and authorizing the execution of a professional services agreement with Fairway Consulting and Engineering, LLC, for the Circle K Sewer Force Main Extension Feasibility Study, project number S250601, in the lump sum of $100,000. Mr. DeGeneres.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. This is a project, really the sewer coming from Almedia Road all the way to the Parish line comes through the Circle K lift station that eventually goes to Turtle Pond. We're actually in design right now to do the Turtle Pond force main and the new lift station there. This would actually dump into it. Right now it hits a gravity right before the railroad tracks, and it causes backups during high rain events on Browns Lane, Fox Lane, things like that. So we're hoping to improve by extending the line past railroad tracks and dump in right into the new Turtle Pond lift station, and that should help also with expansion of growth on Airline Highway. There is some still open land there that could be developed. It would probably free up and give us some capacity to be able to bring some new development in that area.
File number 2025-0197 is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you will have 3 minutes to speak. Okay, seeing none, public hearing is closed. Do we have any council discussion? Councilwoman O'Daniels.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I see here that some of those funds are being funded by a grant of some sort.
Actually, most of it is from an economic development grant.
Okay. And this is in my district, and we are in desperate need of improvements here, so I ask everyone for their support. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman O'Daniels. Any other council discussion? Okay, seeing none, please cast your vote for file number 2025-0197. And that passes unanimously. File number 2025-0199, an ordinance approving and authorizing the execution of an amendment of Amendment Number 1 to Ordinance Number 21-3-3, which approved the professional services agreement with H. Davis Cole and Associates, LLC, for Murray Hill and Destrehan Drive's drainage improvements, project number P201001, to add resident inspection funds in the amount not to exceed $109,750, increasing the overall contract value to $434,418. Mr. Bingham.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This project, we had a great town hall meeting the other night. Very well received. The people are looking forward to this project. This amendment adds the resident inspection that we need for this project to the engineer's contract, and we would appreciate your support.
All right. File number 2025-0199 is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you'll have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Any council discussion? Councilman Pillier.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Bingham, you're right. Excellent meeting the other day, and I have to give kudos to Mr. Jewell, yourself, Mr. Palamone. It was good, really good. I forget what you said about when this project is likely to start. Can you kind of give us a feel for
Yes,
roughly?
Sir. Yes, sir. We Atmos Energy is putting in a new gas line so that they will be out of our way. We should start after they finish their work, hopefully on the 1st Street, and we're looking around October 1st.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right. Is there any other council discussion? Seeing none, please cast your votes for file number 2025-0199. And that passes unanimously. File number 2025-0200, an ordinance approving and authorizing the execution of Amendment Number 1 to Ordinance Number 21-8-14, which approved the professional services agreement with Volkert, Inc. for the Evangeline Road and CN Railroad Box Culvert, project number P210701, in the not to exceed amount of $202,712.50, increasing the overall contract value to $389,718.34. Mr. Bingham.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This project has proven to be a little bit more difficult than originally anticipated. We were going to put the box culverts in away from the railroad. Unfortunately, there's a lot of utilities in this area, and we've had to actually move into the railroad right-of-way to get this done, which means that we have added a component with the railroad. And all of you that have followed our CN project in Ormond will know that makes things a little bit more difficult. So we've had to add some additional engineering fees to take care of that process. And we are also adding the resident inspection services for this project, since we are hoping to have this project bid this year. And we appreciate your support. Thank you.
Okay, file number 2025-0200 is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Okay, seeing none, public hearing is closed. Any council discussion? Councilman Fisher.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This was part recognized by the Master Drainage Plan on one of the bottlenecks that we currently have feeding the new pump stations. Mr. Bingham has made reference to the fact that it started off as a pretty simple project. Thought we could put box culverts and handle it, but again, of course, size and engineering. So a little bit more than I kind of hoped it would be, but again, it's a vital part of it. Again, it was recognized at the Master Drainage Plan. So I do ask your support. This is all part of the overall improvement to the once watershed.
All right, any other council discussion? Seeing none, please cast your votes for file number 2025-0200. And that passes unanimously. File number 2025-0201, an ordinance approving and authorizing the execution of change order number 1 final For the St. Charles Parish Parks and Recreation Bethune Park renovations, project number REC BP 523, to decrease the amount by $500 and increase the contract time by 84 days. Mr. Foray.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair, members of the Council, Parish President Jew. Two items that caused the delay. Obviously, rain, we all going through it. We have many projects that have been delayed. Hopefully that changes. And also the back ordering of the backstop poles. They're close to 25 foot in length, and we wanted the vinyl coated ones. We didn't want to create one that was 20 foot and then have to weld and then coat it. So they were on back order. That was the length of time they needed. So we're very happy with the project, which will be ribbon cutting here shortly. Ask you for your support on this. Thank you.
All right. File number 2025-0201 is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you'll have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Any council discussion? Councilman Fisher.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just want to say congratulations to the administration, Mr. Foray and his department, and our public and our private business partners. I think people realize when we all work together the kind of things we could do. This is the Bethune Park I want to say it is the first outlining park that we've actually done, that we own, and improvements to. So it's the first of many, I hope. I know President Jewell has always talked about let's make our quality stuff and get rid of our quantity. And it's really became a jewel. I know the folks in Norco and Usarpi and Muntz are really happy. I know you're going to get that things that you need to help finish it. So I appreciate the hard work of you and your people and the administration.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Any other council discussion? Seeing none, please cast your votes for file number 2025-0201. And that passes unanimously. File number 2025-0202, an ordinance approving and authorizing the execution of a professional services agreement with Crescent Engineering and Mapping, LLC, for the River Bend Subsurface Drainage Project number P250702 in the lump sum amount of $86,544.40. Mr. Bingham.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is a continuation. We've completed a project out there just recently to make a connection to the road, the River Bend Drive drainage system. But we need to do more at this location, and we need to reestablish a drainage pattern that provides drainage from River Road back to the railroad tracks. This does not put anything new under the railroad tracks, but that will be a future project. But this is to get that process started, and we appreciate your support.
Okay, file number 2025-0202 is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you'll have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Any council discussion? Councilman Pillier.
Thank you for the effort on this. I know it's been a long time coming over there. I've actually been around when we had some pretty high water and some tough rains. But I noticed something in here, and I'm not trying to be pedantic in any way, but second whereas, it says the Riverbend Subsurface Drainage Project entails the surveying and engineering to provide a solution that will help elevate. And I thought maybe that meant alleviate.
Alleviate, yes.
Okay, I don't know if we need to do anything about that, but should we make a motion to correct that? Okay, I'll make a motion that we change the wording such that elevate in the second whereas is alleviate.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilman Pillier on the floor to change the let me find it. Hold on. Where is it? Thank you.
Elevate.
Yes.
Okay.
Alleviate. So in the second whereas, to change the word elevate to alleviate. And we have a second to the Well, Councilwoman O'Daniels is shown as the motioner. We have a second.
That's fine.
Or you want to put her as a second? Okay, okay. We have a motion by Councilwoman O'Daniels and a second by Councilwoman Williams. So I'm going to have to open up public hearing again. File number 2025-0202 is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, this amendment, excuse me, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you'll have 3 minutes to speak. All right, seeing none, public hearing is closed. Do we have any further council discussion regarding this amendment? All right, seeing none, please cast your votes to amend file number 2025-0202 to change the word elevate in the second whereas to alleviate. All right, and that was on file number 2025-0202. That amendment passes unanimously. So, do we have any further council discussion on the ordinance as amended? Or we have to reopen the public hearing? Excuse me. File number 2025-0202 is open. Is amended is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. All right, seeing none, public hearing is closed. Any council discussion now on the ordinance as amended? All right, seeing none, please cast your votes for file number 2025-0202 as amended. And that passes unanimously. File number 2025-0203, an ordinance to amend the St. Charles Parish Code of Ordinances, Appendix A, St. Charles Parish Zoning Ordinance of 1981, Section 8, Site Plan Review and Design Requirements. F, off-street parking in general. 2, to exempt single-family residences in the R1AM zoning district from the permanent dust-free paving requirement. Mr. Albert.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This began as a conversation between my permitting division and my planning division. Currently, the paving standard is stated as permanent and dust-free. In all zoning districts except for open land, this has been interpreted to mean asphalt or concrete. The ordinance proposes extending the exception to the R1AM zoning district. The reason for that request is that both the R1AM district and the open land district are similar in that they both permit single-family, site-built homes and manufactured homes. Due to the nature of how residents buy, permit, and place these homes, there's often difficulty in obtaining compliance for a poured permanent driveway. What this ordinance would allow for is the use of crushed stone aggregate material to be used for surfacing. The Planning Commission reviewed this request and recommended approval. The department would appreciate your support in this amendment. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Albert. File number 2025-0203 is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Okay, seeing none, public hearing is closed. Do we have any council discussion? Councilman Pillier.
Mr. Albert, I think it was brought to my attention that someone could build a permanent residence within the R1M.
Yes.
And so consequently, that doesn't take care of that situation. See, let's say you could have a part of a street or a whole street where people begin to develop that as permanent residence, and this would allow them to have, non-permanent types of driveways. So, I mean, is that true?
Yes, sir.
So I would have a problem with that personally, so that, it doesn't just happen routinely. So I would like to make a motion that we postpone this indefinitely.
Okay. We have a motion on the floor by Councilman Pillier for file number 2025-0203 to be postponed indefinitely. So I'm going to open up public hearing on the file. File number 2025-0203 is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. All right, seeing none, public hearing is closed. Do we have any council discussion on this matter? All right. Seeing none, we have a motion by Councilman Pillier with a second by Councilman Fisher to postpone indefinitely file number 2025-0203. Please cast your votes to postpone indefinitely file number 2025-0203. And that passes unanimously. File number 2025-0204, an ordinance approving and authorizing the execution of the professional services agreement with Crescent Engineering and Mapping, LLC, for the JCJR outfall ditches, project number P250701, in the lump sum amount of $70,248. Mr. Bingham.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The parish recently was able to work with the owners of JCJR and obtain some servitudes which they donated to us for drainage. And this will allow us to survey, get the topographic survey, do the alignment, and also get the ditch grades and the ditch profiles for those 2 ditches. This is a benefit to the parish in getting water away from the railroad tracks to the VL ditch, and we would appreciate the support of having this approved so that we can get that done for the parish.
Okay. File number 2025-0204 is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Okay, seeing none, public hearing is closed. Any council discussion? Councilman Pillier.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Being unfamiliar with the area, I kind of go back to the maps, which I was still unfamiliar with. I spoke to you about that, kind of got a clearing on it. But I also like to know how that contributes to drainage improvements according to the master drainage plan. So I went back to that, and I found one of them that appears to be showing some required jacks and bores not too far away from this exact property, and it looks like this would benefit that. So I'm kind of wondering if you could maybe speak to that. It looks like maybe Bamboo Street was the one that I'm referring to.
Bamboo Street is a project, but that's a little further downstream from this. This one is right behind one of our new subdivision developments, and there is also a proposed jack and bore somewhere in that general vicinity as well. So we see this as an issue of getting the water away from the railroad tracks. If you push water behind the railroad tracks and it has no place to go, it pools on the right next to the railroad tracks. Then it backs up into these communities. By getting these ditches dug and getting it to the back VL ditch, we eliminate that as a possibility.
I've seen this happen. I've stood on the railroad tracks and I've seen exactly what you just described happening. And upstream goes nowhere because downstream has built up. So
exactly.
And I definitely think this is the point. But I looking at the master drainage plan, I always like to try to see if we're doing things that are pretty much prioritized in the master drainage plan. It appears to me that it may be, and I'm hoping it is. And I'm in support of this. Thank you.
All right, Councilwoman Wilson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is in my district, and Mr. Pile, this is close to Bamboo, but it will help the residents of Bamboo as well in the future. But I do have one question, and I just want to know why we're hiring an engineering firm.
Okay, so this has a survey component to it. The engineering firm that we're hiring has a survey department, and they've done a lot of survey work for us, and they've done a great job for us in doing that. And we feel that they were actually the people that prepared the map for the servitudes. So we feel that they know the area and will continue to do the work in a great way. And as I said, they've already done surveying for us before, and we think they'll do a great job for us again.
And just to add to that, as Miles said, this engineering company, they're going to be doing profiles, so they're going to be doing some engineering work as a part of this, but they do all of their surveying in-house. So they're not hiring another surveyor to do this work for them. I know that was a question that came up as a part of this. So I have some more to say, Chairwoman, but you can recognize me, or you don't have to recognize me. I don't know. I feel like I'm out of turn right now.
I have no comment to that. Parish President Jewell, would you like to speak?
Thank you, Chairwoman. I would love to speak. I just want to mention I'm going to hold my my iPad up here. The ditch that's kind of outlined right here in blue behind that new subdivision is exactly the one we're talking about. So it is included on the master plan. We actually have 2 of them in this area, so an extra one. And then our our goal is to get one behind South Fashion. We've been working for the past couple of years with property owners back there trying to get one. So we do see, as Miss Wilson said, that when the water gets high, it does tend to come over that way. So if we can get it through the railroad tracks, which there is a jack and board there, we need more, we know that. But get it away from the railroad tracks so it's not on that, just sitting on that backside building up. That's going to help those folks out. And then once we get the other outfall and the other jack and bores in, we will now have the appropriate outfalls necessary to convey that water away from the railroad tracks and solve a bad flooding issue in the back of an old neighborhood.
All right. Any other council discussion? Seeing none, please cast your votes for file number 2025-0204. And that passes unanimously. File number 2025-0205, an ordinance to amend Chapter 26-2 and 26-4 of the St. Charles Parish Code of Ordinances to update the composition of the Coastal Zone Advisory Committee. Mr. Albert.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This ordinance is a minor amendment to Section 26, reorganizing the Coastal Zone Advisory Committee. The ordinance clarifies the name of the committee, the number of committee members, the removal procedure, and the organizational structure. Notably, because the committee has not convened in 8 years, the ordinance creates initial seats with staggered terms so that the council is not put into a position of appointing the entire board at one time all over again. Council members O'Daniels and Pile have assisted with this rewrite, and we would appreciate further council support. Thank you.
All right, file number 2025-0205 is now open for public hearing. If anyone would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Okay, seeing none, public hearing is closed. Do we have any council discussion? Councilwoman O'Daniels.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Albert, I'd like to thank you and your department for working on this to reconstitute this very important advisory committee, and we look forward to seating them soon. Thank you.
Okay, any other council discussion? I'd like to thank Councilwoman O'Daniels and Councilman Pillier for stepping up to work with the administration on this. Really appreciate your efforts on this matter. All right. Please cast your votes for file number 2025-0205. And that passes unanimously. File number 2025-0206, an ordinance approving and authorizing the execution of Amendment Number 1 to Ordinance Number 19-9-6, which approved the engineering services contract with Sred Kirkendall and Associates, Inc. for the Lakewood Drive reconstruction, project number P190201, to increase the construction and closeout amount by $80,000 for a new not-to-exceed amount of $280,000, increasing the overall contract amount to $799,380.24. Mr. Bingham.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is a project that went very well in getting it constructed. The Lakewood project is a shining example of some of the things that we've accomplished in the parish. The project was done following DOTD standards and requirements. Unfortunately, DOTD has delayed the closure of this project. The engineer has been working with the DOTD diligently to try and get this project closed out. And the money that they're at that is here is for that additional effort to follow the DOTD standards and requirements. We would appreciate your support on this. You should be seeing a change order and a final acceptance of this project fairly soon. Thank you.
All right, file number 2025-0206 is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who'd like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Any council discussion? Councilwoman O'Daniels.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Bingham, I'm confused as to whether or not this is additional cost as to the closeout because of the engineering requirements, or was it additional construction?
This has to do with the construction, and when you say closeout, it was for the construction closeout according to DOTD requirements. They have a lot of things that you need to do. There were everything. They have field change directives that they have. Each one of those has to be filed through their system. Then it goes up their chain of command. We've had a couple come back through their, by being rejected by someone who really didn't understand what was being done, and thought that the project was a project bid by DOTD and run by DOTD, whereas it was really bid by DOTD for the parish, and the parish was the one in charge of the contract. So we've had to straighten all those things out, and it does take time working through the DOTD bureaucracy.
So for the layperson, it's an increased administration cost in order to close out the contract.
Yes,
okay,
it is.
Thank you.
Any other council discussion? So, I've already spoken with Mr. Bingham and Parish President Jewell about my thoughts on this previously. As former grants officer, we dealt with a lot of DOTD projects, and there is it's a complex matter to close out these projects. My issue with the way this has been handled is I don't want it to appear as though our parish is willing to pay any engineering firm more money because they simply have to deal with DOTD on a federally funded project, and is this involved with the extra steps. I mean, in the past we did not, that wasn't a consideration when we used Curve A, and that's what you got, or Curve, B. That's my thoughts on this. I do understand it was a good project. Let me just say that. A great job was done. And I do understand there was additional time involved in getting this closed out. But the appearance is what bothers me on this one. All right, any other council discussion? Please cast your votes for file number 2025-0206. All right, that passes unanimously. Resolutions. File number 2025-0212. A resolution in support of the Planning and Zoning Commission approval of 2025-3-SPU for an accessory dwelling unit in an R1A zoning district on lots 124, 125, 126, 127, and a 10-foot strip reserved, Square 3, Evangeline City Subdivision, Unit 3, 522 Evangeline Road, Muntz, as requested by Shelley Berthelot Villaret. I may not have pronounced that right. Mr. Albert.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As you said, this is an accessory dwelling unit approval. It meets all the special permit use and accessory dwelling unit conditions. The applicant is required to consolidate those lots before permitting of the structure can be finalized. The Commission as well as the Department recommend approval.
File number 2025-0212 is now open for public comment. If there's anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public comment is closed. Any council discussion? All right, seeing none, please cast your votes for file number 2025-0212. And that passes unanimously. File number 2025-0213, a resolution endorsing a waiver from Appendix C, Subdivision Regulations of 1981, Section 3, Geometric Standards, C, Lots 1, Size, and Appendix A, Section 9, Nonconformities, Item A2, as requested by Ronald and Marilyn Diggs.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So, two-lot subdivision. The larger lot meets all of the zoning district requirements. The smaller property is just shy of the 6,000 square foot minimum requirement. The Planning Commission recommended approval, or they actually approved the subdivision pending the resolution here. We recommend approval of the requirement. And just of note, this is part of a parish drainage project. Miles can give any details we need on that, but we appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, file number 2025-0213 is now open for public comment. If there's anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public comment is closed. Any council discussion? Seeing none, please cast your votes for file number 2025-0213. And that passes unanimously. File number 2025-0214, a resolution certifying that St. Charles Parish has complied with the bidding procedures of Louisiana Revised Statutes 38-2211 at sequence for the construction of the Munns Pump Station No. 1 project, P0-0200. Ms. Chasson.
Good evening. So, the Coastal Protection and Restoration Authority has provided $10 million in grant funds for the Munns Pump Station project, and one of the conditions of our funding agreement is that we go have a certification going on record that we've complied with public bid law. So St. Charles Parish does take very good care to make sure that we comply with all the laws. So if you have any questions, let me know.
All right, file number 2025-0214 is now open for public comment. If there's anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public comment is closed. Any council discussion? Seeing none, please cast your votes for file number 2025-0214. And that passes unanimously. File number 2025-0215, a resolution to approve scope of work and budget revisions to complete flood improvements within the Fairfield and Oakland watershed area in St. Rose, utilizing funding through the Louisiana Watershed Initiative. Ms. Chasson.
Yes. So in early 2024, we received a conditional award from the Louisiana Watershed Initiative for the Fairfield and Oakland Pump Station project. And one condition of was the completion of a hydrology and hydraulic study. And so the results of that study was completed this summer, and it showed a greater need for conveyance improvements prior to the construction of the pump station. So the LWI was still in support of the flood improvements in that area. And so we worked with them, and they are allowing us to amend the scope of work for the grant project, and they've asked for a board resolution in acknowledging the scope of work change and also committing the local funds to the project. And the local funds is $3.9 million. So if you have any questions, let me know.
All right, file number 2025-0215 is now open for public comment. If there's anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public comment is closed. Any council discussion? Councilwoman O'Daniels.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ms. Chasson, thank you so much for working on this project. I realize it has taken a huge pivot, and it's a little bit different than what the residents first expected, but I'm very optimistic this is right decision in the right way, and I'm glad that it came to this, that we're working and making sure we get it 100% right. And I also appreciate President Jewell for agreeing to deal with the extra that we have to pay in order for this project to go forward. Thank you both.
Thank you. All right, Councilman Pillier.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ms. Chasson, I know you'll probably recall what I'm about to say, but for the council people here, a couple of years ago, the CN railroad tracks over in Ormond went through a similar type process where we had to reprove some hydrology. So please, everybody, don't fret. This has to be done as part of the process, and I'm hoping that it can move quickly and end up in the same place where we're doing things, that provide for this grant coming forward. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Parish President Jewell.
I just want to mention that as a part of this project, we've identified some projects smaller portions of this project that we can potentially do in-house. I know Carla's working with the LWI folks on that. And additionally, Miles, I don't know if you want to mention about the CPKC Railroad. We had some good discussion with them.
Yes, we've been in discussion with CPKC, started with Parish President Jewell, talking to them. They then talked to our engineering department. They are going to be doing engineering for us that will be less expensive than anything that we could get ourselves, and then do the construction on their tracks in a couple locations. And this project is one of them, where they can do it for about a quarter of what we would actually be able to do it for. And they can do that because of the way they can construct on their tracks and with their people. And we're looking very much forward to trying to doing that with them and proving it out that way, and then looking to the other railroads to see if we can find a way to do similar things with them in the future. But for this project, it'll save us a good bit of money, and that will actually give us money from what we're putting into it to go towards the pump station as well.
All right, any other council discussion? Please cast your votes for file number 2025-0215. That passes unanimously. File number 2025-0218, a resolution supporting the application to the U.S. Economic Development Administration's fiscal year 2025 EDA disaster supplemental for funding of the Fairfield and Oakland Pump Station project in St. Rose. Ms. Chasson.
Yes, so we're not calling it final on the Fairfield and Oakland Pump Station project, and the Economic Development Administration has some disaster recovery funding that we're able to apply for because of our disaster declaration for Hurricane Francine last year. So we are going to take this project and present it to them and request about $11 million to go towards that one. So this application is just in support, the council's support for that. Thank you.
File number 2025-0218 is now open for public comment. If there's anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public comment is closed. Any council discussion? Councilwoman O'Daniels.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ms. Chasson, I want to go ahead and try to recap these two together, just so if anybody rewinds, we all understand what we're talking about. The last ordinance was about improving the conveyances, and now the last resolution. This resolution is designed to try to get additional funding for the pump station itself.
Yes.
And all I can say is, can we light a candle, do a novena?
I'm trying.
All the things. Because if you can pull this one off, and we also appreciate Parish President supporting the 20%, we can all do a happy dance. So I really appreciate it, again, being creative, nimble, and getting the job on the right track to get it done right. Thank you.
I'm trying. Thank you.
All right, please cast your votes for file number 2025-0218. And that passes unanimously. File number 2025-0230, a resolution nominating and confirming the appointment of one member who is a resident of St. Charles Parish to the Southeast Louisiana Regional Water Purification Operations Task Force. This is a regional task force that the legislature put into law this past session to, I think, come up with a regional project, the purpose of which would be to help other parishes like Jefferson, Plaquemines, Orleans, St. Bernard, with the saltwater intrusion issues that they've had recently. And this task force the purpose is to try to come up with a regional project, water project that will alleviate that issue. So file number 2025-0230 is now open for public comment. If there is anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. All right, seeing none, public comment is closed. I would like to nominate Mr. Dondi Troxler for this appointment, the council appointment, actually. Mr. Troxler is the former assistant director of Waterworks. He's very knowledgeable about our system, and I think he'll do a great job in looking after St. Charles Parish's interests in this matter. All right, is there any council discussion on this matter? Go ahead and please cast your votes for file number 2025-0230 and the appointment of Mr. Dondi Troxler to the Southeast Louisiana Water Purification Operations Task Force. You do. Let me backtrack that.
Point of order. We don't have a second, and we didn't close nominations under our rule. All right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. I actually realized that. I have a motion by Councilman Fisher, and I'm going to go ahead and second it to nominate Mr. Dondi Troxler for this. But I do, because of our council rule, have to ask if there are any other nominations. Okay. Okay, Ms. Councilwoman O'Daniels, are you wanting to make a nomination or?
No, I believe the first vote should be a motion to close the nominations after you made them.
You can't close nominations until we ensure that everyone has had adequate chance to nominate their choice of person.
Okay. Well, I didn't
That's our
understand.
council rule.
I understand. I didn't understand your verbiage to indicate that we're closing nominations.
We didn't close it. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to repeat. Are there any other nominations for this appointment? Okay. Seeing none, we have a motion to close the nominations from Councilman Fisher, and I've seconded it. Did you? Okay. Thank you. It's okay. We'll get through this one.
Sticky.
Yes, please cast your votes for file number 2025-0230 and the appointment of Mr. Dondi Troxler to this regional task force. I said it wrong. It is closing nominations. This is it. All right, I'm sorry. We do have a unanimous vote to close the nominations. So now please cast your vote to confirm the appointment of Mr. Dondi Troxler for this regional task force. All right. We have a motion from Councilwoman O'Daniels and a second from Councilwoman Skiba to confirm the appointment. So go ahead and please cast your votes. All right, and that passes unanimously. Okay, appointments. File number 2025-0216, a resolution appointing a member to the St. Charles Parish Communications District representing the St. Charles Parish Sheriff's Office. The council will confirm the nomination of retired Major Lieutenant Sam Zinna to the St. Charles Parish Communications District representing the St. Charles Parish Sheriff's Office for a 4-year term to begin August 19, 2025 and expire August 19, 2029. The nominee is retired Major Lieutenant Sam Zinna. Please cast your vote to confirm the appointment of retired Major Lieutenant Sam Zinna to the St. Charles Parish Communications District representing the St. Charles Parish Sheriff's Office. And that passes unanimously. Point of personal privilege. The way that we had to handle this last appointment was via a resolution, which is atypical when the council does appointments. So we did not, I guess, have it ironed out completely as a resolution or the way that we normally handle an appointment. But we got through it. So thank you all for your patience. All right, moving on. File number 2025-0217, resolution appointing a member to the St. Charles Parish Communications District representing the St. Charles Parish Firemen's Association. The council will confirm the nomination of Mr. Johnny Bourgeois to the St. Charles Parish Communications District representing the St. Charles Parish Firemen's Association. It's a 4-year term to begin August 19, 2025 and expire August 19, 2029. All right, the nominee is Mr. Johnny Bourgeois. Please cast your vote to confirm the appointment of Mr. Johnny Bourgeois to the St. Charles Parish Communications District, representing the St. Charles Parish Firemen's Association. And that passes unanimously. File number 2025-0219, accept the resignation of Ms. Sarah Thigpen, St. Charles Parish Coastal Zone Advisory Committee. Please cast your vote to accept the resignation of Ms. Sarah Thigpen on the St. Charles Parish Coastal Zone Advisory Committee. And that passes unanimously. All right, file number 2025-0220, a resolution appointing a member to the St. Charles Parish Coastal Zone Advisory Committee as Member 1. On Monday, August 18, 2025, the council chairman will accept nominations to the St. Charles Parish Coastal Zone Advisory Committee to fill the vacancy caused by the resignation of the term of Ms. Sarah Thigpen. 2-year term to begin September 23rd, 2025 and expire September 23rd, 2027. File number 2025-0221, accept the resignation of Mr. Charles A. Smith, St. Charles Parish Coastal Zone Advisory Committee. Please cast your vote to accept the resignation of Mr. Charles A. Smith on the St. Charles Parish Coastal Zone Advisory Committee. And that passes unanimously. File number 2025-0222, a resolution appointing a member to the St. Charles Parish Coastal Zone Advisory Committee as Member 2. On Monday, August 18, 2025, Council Chairman will accept nominations to the St. Charles Parish Coastal Zone Advisory Committee to fill the vacancy caused by the resignation of the term of Mr. Charles A. Smith. It's a 2-year term to begin September 23rd, 2025 and expire September 23rd, 2027. File number 2025-0223, accept the resignation of Mr. Ray Mathern, St. Charles Parish Coastal Zone Advisory Committee. Please cast your vote to accept the resignation of Mr. Ray Mathern on the St. Charles Parish Coastal Zone Advisory Committee. And that passes unanimously. File number 2025-0224, a resolution appointing a member to the St. Charles Parish Coastal Zone Advisory Committee as Member 3. On Monday, August 18, 2025, Council Chairman will accept nominations to the St. Charles Parish Coastal Zone Advisory Committee to fill the vacancy caused by the resignation of the term of Mr. Ray Mathern, a 3-year term to begin September 23, 2025 and expire September 23, 2028. File number 2025-0225, accept the resignation of Mr. Craig N. Melanson, St. Charles Parish Coastal Zone Advisory Committee. Please cast your vote to accept the resignation of Mr. Craig N. Melanson on the St. Charles Parish Coastal Zone Advisory Committee. And that passes unanimously. File number 2025-0226, a resolution appointing a member to the St. Charles Parish Coastal Zone Advisory Committee as Member 4. On Monday, August 18, 2025, the Council Chairman will accept nominations to the St. Charles Parish Coastal Zone Advisory Committee to fill the vacancy caused by the resignation of the term of Mr. Craig N. Melanson. It's a 3-year term to begin September 23, 2025 and expire September 23, 2028. File number 2025-0227, a resolution appointing a member to the St. Charles Parish Coastal Zone Advisory Committee as Member 5. On Monday, August 18, 2025, the Council Chairman will accept nominations to the St. Charles Parish Coastal Zone Advisory Committee to fill the vacancy created for the late Mr. Arthur W. Carlson, Jr., 4-year term to begin September 23, 2025 and expire September 23, 2029. File number 2025-0228, a resolution appointing a member to the St. Charles Parish Coastal Zone Advisory Committee as Member 6. On Monday, August 18, 2025, the Council Chairman will accept nominations to the St. Charles Parish Coastal Zone Advisory Committee to fill the vacancy. It's a 4-year term to begin September 23, 2025 and expire September 23, 2029. File number 2025-0229, a resolution appointing a member to the St. Charles Parish Coastal Zone Advisory Committee as Member 7. On Monday, August 18, 2025, Council Chairman will accept nominations to the St. Charles Parish Coastal Zone Advisory Committee to fill the vacancy. It's a 4-year term to begin September 23, 2025 and expire September 23, 2029. Meetings, announcements, notices, etc. Meetings. The Lafourche Basin Levee District will meet Wednesday, August 6, 2025 at 6 p.m. at the Lafourche Basin Levee District Office, 2213-80 Highway 20 in Vacherie. The Planning and Zoning Commission will meet Thursday, August 7, 2025 at 6 p.m. in the Council Chambers. The Communications District 911 will meet Monday, August 11, 2025 at 5 p.m. in the Council Chambers. The Civil Service Board will meet Tuesday, August 12, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. in the Council Chambers. The Community Action Advisory Board will meet Wednesday, August 13th, 2025 at 5 p.m. in the Council Chambers. The Pontchartrain Levee District will meet Monday, August 18, 2025 at 6 p.m. Pontchartrain Levee District Headquarters Complex, 2069 Railroad Avenue in Lutcher. And the St. Charles Parish Council will meet again on Monday, August 18, 2025 at 6 p.m. in the Council Chambers. Announcements. Notice is hereby given that a public meeting for the St. Charles Parish Council will be held in the Council Chambers on the second floor of the St. Charles Parish Courthouse, 15045 River Road in Hornville, Louisiana 70057, on August 18, 2025 at 6 p.m. to adopt millage rates. Adjournment. A motion and a second are needed to adjourn. We have a motion by Councilwoman Skiba, a second by Councilwoman O'Daniels. Please cast your votes to adjourn. And that passes unanimously. Have a great evening. We are officially adjourned.